Yay! People help. Friday, October 9th, as we finish out the week and try to stay sane. Oh, tie game. I forgot to tell you guys who won. One moment. Let's see. Yes, all those in favor. And then I have another thing I'm going to do too. Tie game, it was people. I had Beatles, Broblings, runners, stuff like that. We had 3 winners in here, which is beats all my other classes, so go you there. Yesterday for 1 point was Colwell. Wednesday for 2 points was Abigail. Tuesday for 3 points to complete our all girls are winners. Trio was Todd. Go you. What I'm going to have you do is after you record those, this apparently has not been decorated and I've been mocked for it. So I'm going to let you decorate that with heroes and Brovicast and stuff like that. So you can make it look all pretty. And there's marker, whatever, you can figure it out. Yeah, smart kid. All right. Words to you guys. Download it there. We'll finish out our Annabel Lee poem, and then we'll head over to the library afterwards from there. Did we get, let's see, what was happening in the poem when we left off yesterday?
He was like freaking out.
He was that guy that
We're going to back up to the beginning just so we can go through this speedy part. It'll be fast, worry. But you can't just jump straight into crazy. You kind of have to build up to crazy. Trust me. And so we'll get to it. It'll be okay. So to do back here real quick, we'll just do the speedy regaining of where we were from there. Birdie, go ahead and read stanza 1. Okay.
It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. In this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me.
Thank you. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. Milan, where's our poem taking place?
A kingdom by the sea.
The kingdom is by the sea. See, Abigail, who are people in the poem so far?
Annabel Lee and the speaker that doesn't have a name.
Is it Edgar Allan Poe?
What?
Is it Edgar Allan Poe? Is that the speaker?
No.
No, you're correct. What are we going to call him?
Dude.
Dude works for me. We have Dude who likes to rock out. And then we have Annabel Lee. And then we have Rodrigo. How do Annabel Lee and Dude feel about each other?
Oh, they like.
They do, maybe even 3 likes. It's right up there. There's definitely lots of emotions being aimed at each other with the liking, and the liking. And then so much love. And we find out it was many and many a year ago, which is a reference to something we've learned before, Cover. Because what type of story is it a reference to?
Fairy tales.
Because how do fairy tales begin?
Land far, far away.
That would be Shrek, which is also a reference to a fairy tale, but that's not how most fairy tales begin. It's also a TV show on ABC, if that helps you out.
Yes.
It is correct. Nicely done. Once upon a time. Way to tag in with your learning, Ella. Proud of you on that one. So the many, many a year ago. That third line, which says, there was a maiden lived whom you may know, because it's a kingdom, and she's the most famous maiden in the kingdom. And so what is that going to make Annabel Lee? She's probably a princess in a fairy tale, and it's all kinds of happy, and there's love and good things going on. Such happiness. Which takes us to stanza 2, where we get to find out about how much happiness we have. 3Q?
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
How do we know this speaker is a dude?
We don't. We just assume. 3Q! Stanza 2!
I was a child and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that we seraphs of heaven coveted her and me.
Thank you. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee. With a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. How old are Annabel Lee and Dude if we're referring to them as children? Austin?
Young adults.
And how old is young adult? 60? 70?
Teenagers.
Teenager age, because you don't want old people in love, because old people are ugly. So here we have the fact that they are teenagers and they're in love. And as teenagers do in love, they write wonderful poetry. Mike, I love you with a love that is more than love, wrapped in love, with like a big love sandwich, because it is so much love. Oh, you're so romantic. This particular thing is letting us know that their love between Dude and Annabel Lee, how does it compare to normal person love, Doyle?
It's more than love, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. And so is it more or less love than you could ever have?
More?
Are you asking me? Do you not know how much love you can eventually?
More?
Yeah. Good job. Maybe not. We'll see how the poem goes along. You might be right on the same line as them. I have no idea. But definitely a lot of love. Their love is up here, and then your love is down here. That's going to play a big role when we get to stanza 6, the understanding of where your love is compared to their love. Because, Gesundheit, Dude's love is pretty extreme and pretty strong. So your love cannot compare to his love. I mean, once again, the whole looking at each other and the fact that they can generate actual physical bubbles of love between them is pretty strong stuff. You can just go, yeah, boop, right there in front of you. And the love bubbles that then float up into the sky and just pop, love, love, lots of love. It attracts the attention of these critters that are flying around in the sky, getting knocked out of the air. Nellie, what are seraphs?
They are like the highest ranking breed.
Nicely done. The absolute top dog in the angel world, who now have little love bubbles popping in front of them. And essentially, angels are made out of love, and these little love bubbles are taunting them. Better than you. More love than you'll ever have. You have to respect this. And so because of that, the angels begin to feel the emotion that they've never felt before, which is going to affect our angels going down the line. And Chalfin, what emotion do our angels begin to feel? Jealousy. Because they've never experienced this level of love before. They're like, I'm made out of love, and your love is taunting me and making me feel sad. So because of that, they begin to feel jealous. Which brings us to our plot twist in stanza number 3. Go for it, Skylar.
And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, one flew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea.
Nicely done. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blood of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. We introduce a weather pattern that's going to affect our story. And Gabby, what's our weather pattern that gets introduced? Is it hot wind or cold wind? Cold. All right, so we have wind that comes in. And because of the wind, it gets introduced. Her kinsmen come and steal her away from Dude, because kinsmen are haters. Everyone knows that about kinsmen. What are kinsfolk or kinspeople or kinsmen or kin or any kind of kinnies in general? Linda Mayer? Family. And her family in particular is highborn family. And so, Parody, if your family's highborn, what does that tell us about your family?
That they're like royalty.
Works for me. All richy rich and just throwing money at things. Like those stars just throwing money into my bucket, bunch of haters. So you have the fact that they are highborn, richy rich people who then go and take her and throw her into the sepulcher. And we talked about before, what is sepulcher going to be a synonym to?
Mausoleum.
What's a mausoleum?
Above grave.
Above ground. That's going to play a role too. The fact they put her into an above ground burial gravy thing. If they go put her into a sepulcher, what does that tell us happened to her?
She died.
Murder.
Whoop. Whoop. And so the fact that they put her into it, well, jumping to murder, once again, Garrison household, went a little far on that one. But the fact that at the very least, she's no longer with us, and the fact that she has died. And, according to the poem, what has caused her to die and no longer be with us been?
A sickness.
A sickness caused by?
Cold wind.
Cold wind. And did we get yesterday how cold wind can kill her?
Yeah.
Because how old is she?
16.
And do teenagers make good choices?
No.
Exactly. And so they're going outside and they're getting cold and the hack, cough, die. And the fact that she's now no longer with us. Let's see. A sepulcher, and then she's dead, and she's no longer with. Oh! now that she's dead, dude will of course take this really well. Kid in the back.
Yeah, where do you want me to put these? Like,
Once they're all done.
no, like in the group book. Do you
Oh.
want to just continue on this page, or did you have a
No, if you turn back, are those the idioms?
Yeah.
Turn back, that last column.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you. You should have little dots and stuff like that for the kids who turned them in late, things like that, but now they're probably turned them in.
Okay, that's okay.
Not the one that has the highlighter thing, that's for the book report.
Yeah.
Do the next one over. Nailed it. Alright. Dude, not happy about the fact that his woman just got killed, is going to take it a little on the rough side. So thank you, Regan, for volunteering. You can go ahead and take the stanza too.
The angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Yes, that's the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cold by night, chilling and killing my Annabel.
Thank you. The angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Yes! There's the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. Dude's convinced it was not an accident that his woman dropped down dead. Obviously, as Michael pointed out, it was an assassination attempt. Michael, who was attempting to assassinate his woman.
That is seraphs.
The seraphs, those evil angels that were up there flapping their little wings, flappity, flappity, foo! And they send out heat-seeking clouds, bing, and then go down there and kill her and drop her dead. Problem is this about where we got to with you guys yesterday? We,
We were on like the second. We were starting with that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't the angels kill both of them?
That's where so we're right there. Nice. So the fact that dude is not taking this well, and the fact that that little beginning part is dude's going around yelling at everyone the fact that the angels killed his woman, which does not go over well when you keep trying to convince people that the evil angel creatures are coming. The angels are going to get your women. Like, what was that dude? Like, the angels are coming. We got that part. They're going to kill your women. Why? Because of love. Angels hate love. They love love. So why are they going to? And so he's just yelling and the spittle, the drool coming down the sides. He's going around holding his sign like Mr. Stump at lunch, and just going around and just yelling at all the people, just all this level of crazy. Because he's convinced that the angels killed his woman because of the fact that they were jealous of all this love. But people realize that, hey, that sounds kind of crazy. So they keep telling dude, chill out, it's okay. And dude eventually realizes, okay, you're right. It wasn't the angels that killed my woman. They're like, oh, thank you. He's like, they weren't alone. They had people working with them. I'm like, what? He's like, no, they had cohorts that helped kill my woman. Which takes us into stanza 5. We find out that the angels did not work alone when they went after his woman to kill her. Colleen, let's find out exactly how far he wants to go into crazy land.
But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who are older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever
Dissever.
dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee.
Nicely done. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who are older than we, of many far wiser than we. Then neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. So people keep coming up and telling dude, listen, you're a teenager, you're going to get over it, eventually you're going to find someone else, it's okay. To which he replies, in that first little bit, no, just because you're older than me does not mean you know anything about this. My love is up here, your love is down here. Don't tell me that I'm going to get over it because I'm young. Take your old person love, wad it into a ball, and throw it on the ground, and I spit on it. And they're like, whoa, dude, that's a little much. They're like, listen, I've been around for a long time. I know how this works. Like, listen, person who thinks they're smarter than me. Take your love, wad it into a little ball, throw it on the ground. I spit on that too. And they're like, whoa. You're like, listen, it probably wasn't the angels. Like, I know it wasn't the angels. Like, you do? Like, yes, they weren't working by themselves. Because who was working with the angels to assassinate his woman? Emma?
The demons.
Obviously, the angels didn't do it by themselves. That's crazy.
I haven't known.
I'm not crazy. They were working with the demons. So the demons and the angels, they partnered up.
Oh.
And they came after my woman. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. He's like, yeah, right? And so he's doing all this yelling and having the issues. Now, usually the problem comes up where people say, but why wouldn't the angels just kill both of them to solve the problem? And realize angels are horrible creatures, despicable evil beings, and if they were to kill both of them, then it goes completely against what these evil angels want. And Todd, why does that not solve their problem?
Because he doesn't suffer.
Nicely done. He has to suffer. Because if they both die, where do they both go?
Heaven.
To heaven. And you take their human love, which is already super powerful, and all of a sudden you multiply that by angel love, and they're going to become like super angel superheroes that fight crime and shoot beams of love out of their chest. And the other angels like, that's not going to work because now we're going to be super jealous. So obviously the only way to solve this problem is just to kill one of them and leave the other one still alive. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, that makes total sense. He's like, see? The problem is you're like, well, Mr. Brovicast, can't you just take like a really sharp knife and then like that? Well, typically most religions say that when you like that, you don't go the same direction, you go a different direction. And so if he were to do that, then he's not going to go up there with her. He's going to go somewhere else. And then he doesn't have to worry about the love thing. He has the burning and the poking and stuff like that. And so because of that, they're like, so obviously that's not going to solve the problem. And the longer they're apart, the longer it'll be, and eventually their love will separate because the angels know what they're doing. Michael.
It said something about her family coming, so couldn't her family also team up with the angels and the demons and kill her?
There's probably every chance that he believes that their family's involved. If you look at that stanza, it wasn't, hey, they went and buried her. It was like, they took her away from me. Like, dude, she's dead. I know, but I was holding on to her. Like, dude, that's kind of creepy. He's like, you don't understand. Like, no one understands, dude. You're just kind of crazy. And so, as he's continuing, he gets to the point where he's like, listen, I understand why the angels did it. It's like playing a game of Clue. If the Clue, you pick up the little thing, you open up the little envelope in the middle, and you say, who was responsible for it? Who?
Colonel Mustard.
No.
The angels.
The angels.
With the wind.
With what weapon?
The wind.
And then what location?
The kingdom by the sea.
Guys, the beach. And so the same idea, you're right. And so it's like playing, you're like, oh, that was just what I thought it was. And so they're basically playing a game of Clue, and he realizes, come on now, obviously, just because the angels killed my woman, we can't let the angels win, because no one likes angels. So because of that, he says, even with her being dead, you can never dissever our souls. Do you know what it means? He says, you can never dissever our souls. What is he saying about their souls? Brody?
Like they're connected, like they're together.
Yes, their souls are connected. But she's dead. Yes, he understands that, but he says, even if she's dead, you can't let the angels win. They already won. She's dead? He's like, yes, but I have a plan. Stanza 6. Dude realizes that just because she's dead doesn't mean he can't have a plan to fix all of this, because dude's in love. Beautiful love poem. So let's keep going from there, Bailey.
For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulcher, there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea.
Thank you. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. So all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life, and my bride, in her sepulcher there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. So romantic. Love. So he tries. He tries to move on. But every time he goes out at night and he looks up and he sees the moon up there, what is the only thing he can think about?
Annabel Lee.
Annabel Lee. He's like, that moon is so beautiful. I haven't seen something that beautiful since sis, Annabel Lee. And he starts crying. He's like, okay, no, pull it together. I can do this. He looks over, he's like, twinkling stars. He looks at the twinkling stars, and what does he think about?
Annabelle.
Nothing has twinkled like that since Annabel Lee's eyes. And all of a sudden, dude realizes, obviously, they're meant to be together. So he comes up with a plan to prove to the angels that just because the angels killed her does not mean the angels get to win. My question is, what is his plan he formulates to get revenge on the angels, Nellie?
He spends every single night in her sepulcher.
Nicely done. And what's a sepulcher?
It is like a mausoleum.
And what's a mausoleum?
It's an above ground cemetery.
He goes each night, because a mausoleum, a sepulcher, is just a big tomb with a door on the front, and he opens up the door, goes in there, and finds the woman he loves, and lays down and sleeps next to her. And that way he gets to prove to the angels that just because you killed her doesn't mean you get to win, because their love is so strong. Mr. Robiak? Yes. Ucky? Yes. The reason why you have that emotion of uckiness is because your love can only achieve this level. Their love is up here. Because if I were to ask you, how many of you have that level of love that you would go into a tomb and sleep? No, I would not. Not exactly. Your love is here. You can't grasp their level. When your level of love's up here, this is perfectly natural and normal. You're like, yeah, of course, I do that. But you guys can't get to that point, so it's okay, because this beautiful love poem. Yes, dear.
I guess in some ways it's kind of genius if he doesn't even realize it, because he's sleeping next to a decomposing dead body, and he could contract disease and die from it.
Could be. Or he could just be in love.
Or that too.
Love is good too. Michael!
Like, couldn't he just like jump off a cliff and then go up there to be with his Annabelle?
Well, the problem is, you can't trick him, her, it, fish, whatever you believe in. I don't think you can go, I just fell! And then go off the edge, and he's like, huh, you got me! I had no idea. I'm pretty sure that's not the way it works out. But you can try it. Let me know how it works out. Write me a letter afterwards, and we'll see. With the end of the poem, there's actually a second way to read it. And the second way is that, no, he doesn't go into the tomb because it's crazy. What he does is every night he dreams that he is dead. And every night he spends the night dreaming of being in heaven with her and the fact that he's just no longer alive. And then he wakes up every morning disappointed and goes throughout the day hoping for each night that he gets to be dead in his dreaming. Well, okay, which one is it? Yes. Edgar Allan Poe never told us. He's like, it's up to you to decide which way you think it goes. How crazy do you think he becomes over the course of the poem? Is he, I just wish I was dead and with her crazy? Or is it, I'm going inside there kind of crazy? And so you get to sort of pick at what level you want it to be. Now, to help, throughout the poem, there is a rhyming sound that goes throughout the entire poem. When you figure out the rhyme scheme, there's a sound that keeps getting repeated over and over again. Nick, what is the rhyming sound that gets repeated over and over again?
C and we.
Nice. And what was that rhyming sound is? Just
E.
E. And the reason you have that sound throughout the entire thing is because of the name Annabel Lee, because of me and the C with the Lee and the me and the C and the E and the Lee and the me and the C and the E 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 and the E. It's that sound just going through the whole thing. It's that slowly going insane going throughout the whole poem as it's supposed to be eating away at your brain, because that's what love does. So that's our happy love poem. Now we're going to head over to the library. Leave you with that happy thought to haunt you for the weekend. We're going to have you take all your stuff with you when we head over to there so they can help you with the education of this. No more than 4 people.